Hello, Internet, and welcome once again to the Always Online podcast brought to you by mmorpg, your home for all things multiplayer, and that's what we're here to talk about today. Lots of multiplayer gaming goodness, including some new stuff that we got revealed from NCSoft, some eye-rolling stuff from companies that, from games like Blade and Soul, and a bunch of betas incoming. We're going to go through it all on today's show. We're doing it live, twitch.tv/mmobomb, Fridays, 1 p.m. Eastern. As always, we've got chat ready to chime in with their opinions. Also, probably bringing an opinion or two, Mr. Jason Winter. What's up, sir?
No, I don't have any opinions.
No opinions? You just hate everything.
No.
We're done.
Well, see, those aren't opinions. Those are facts. Everything is bad.
Great show. Let me just go ahead and...
Everything sucks.
Cue the outro. What is that behind you? It looks like...
I put it up before. It's a team baseball. It's got the Minnesota Twins logo on it. They gave it to me when I left Beckett, but I put it up now to celebrate the return of baseball.
Oh, yeah. Tis the season. Tis the season. Also on the line, and with bins behind him, Mr. Troy Blackburn, the New Bridge. What's up?
All bin podcast.
So I have a big surprise on my bin today. It's a Newegg box.
Oh, what'd you get from Newegg? Is it PC parts?
And also the guts out of an old PC build that I ripped out yesterday.
Oh, nice. So, are we upgrading some stuff, huh?
Upgrading for the wifey.
Gotcha.
That started overheating on her and stuff, so she's getting a 12th Gen i5 and 16 gigs of RAM.
There you go.
Her stuff.
Every woman starts overheating when they get to a certain point, man. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, you're right.
Anyway.
Says the two guys who pre-show were like, I can't get out of bed without taking an aspirin.
And aspirin. What are you talking about? Is it aspirin, 2 Tylenol, and some ibuprofen?
And a shot of whiskey.
Right.
So I got a box, but Jason, you also have news. So do we want to flip a coin, or do you have a preference on who goes first here?
Yours first. Yours is fun.
Mine's fun. Okay. So this is a box from MiHoYo, well, now HoYoverse, but formerly MiHoYo,
really?
Genshin Impact.
I didn't know about that.
Oh, that was a while ago. Yeah, that was a while ago.
Wow.
I opened it to get the tape off, but everything in here is covered. Like, I have not moved anything, and I can't see what anything is. So I don't know if this stuff is going to be Genshin Impact related, or if it's going to be Star Rail related, because they're trying to, start the hype train for Star Rail. Unfortunately, I do think we should point out, unless they announce something big multiplayer to Star Rail, it's not going to be a game we're covering, because we do multiplayer gaming. Genshin has kind of crept into our continued coverage scope because it's a holdover from when we were just free to play. So we'll continue to cover Genshin, but unless they start putting more multiplayer in HoYoverse's stuff, we probably won't be covering it. All right, so we've got this. Let me go to this camera shop. I don't know what this is. It's sealed and I can't see into it. There's another one of these too, so we'll get to those. And it looks like we got another playmat. We kept the playmat last time. I sent everything else to Q. So it's one of those oversized keyboard mouse pads. I end up using them for TCG playmats.
It's nice. Yeah, that's huge. That wouldn't fit on my desk, I think.
And they're always very well made. So I have the Razer Gigantus on here. It takes up my entire desk. So this is from Genshin, obviously. And we got that. Let's see what's in these. I got one. Let's do this one first. See what we got. Whoa, okay. There's a bunch of shit in here. All right, so we've got buttons for some of the new characters, right? We got buttons last time for the original 5, I think it was, 5 or 6 that were in the game at the time. So we've got some buttons for the newer ones. That's not surprising.
Mm-hmm. He just wants it all.
And then, okay, so this isn't surprising either. We got these last time. They're acrylic stand-ups that you can put together. And we got these last time for the original 5 Genshin characters as well. I kept the mage and sent the rest to Q. So now we get all the new characters there. All right, so this is pretty. All right, we've seen this stuff before, but there's something here that we didn't see last time. And that is a keychain. A very nice keychain, actually.
No.
Yeah, that's pretty sharp. Then we've got, I would imagine, just like last time, these will be the art postcards that go with the new characters. 2.6 coming soon for Genshin. They're streaming right now, or at least they're probably finished now.
Yeah, don't go watch them. Stay with us.
The Genshin Impact team wishes you amazing adventures and happiness in the year of 2022 is what that nice little card says on the back. So no, this was not postcard art like I thought it was going to be. And then we've got one more little package. Where the hell is that? There it is.
Oh, it's like a box inside a bag.
Yeah, it's a box of something. What is this? What is this?
I'm gonna guess food, cookies.
It says 6 designs.
Good lord, you got like little figures, or are they like just hanging things?
6 little Paimon designs.
Oh, so it is food.
It says product name, and the English translation is Paimon's not emergency food. Paimon food themed capsule toys. So my guess is it's probably like what are those Poppin' Fresh gummy thingies?
I know nothing about Genshin Impact except that Paimon is emergency food.
Paimon is emergency food. Let me open this up here. Or is this like, are these like, oh, I'm going to rip it a little bit because of the way they taped it. Oh, that doesn't matter. I'm opening it anyway, right? Already destroyed any value it had. Yeah, so these must be like just little figures because it's 6 of these. And I wonder if they're random. I wonder if they're like loot boxes. My guess is probably.
Get 6 of the same one.
Yeah, that would be my luck. There's some type of code on here, but it's all in Chinese, so I don't know. There's like a little scratch that off and reveal the code to go do something. I want to see if it's like actual food or if it's a plastic character of some type. Not going to open all 6 of these, obviously. Fuck is this?
Q's like, how much money do I have to send?
Okay, so these are actually like little figures.
Yeah.
But it's all of like Paimon eating some stuff, and she's got her little crown there or a little, tiara that we can put on there. Those are actually really cool. Really cool. And I would imagine not something terribly common in the United States. So
yeah, it's get Q or the highest bidder,
Right. Yeah, Q or the highest bidder. We keep talking like that, she's just going to jump into the damn call. So there we go. Thank you again to HoYoverse and our contacts there for sending us that cool stuff. We'll get some of that displayed. I will, of course, use the mat. Jason, before we get started with the news, you have an announcement.
Yeah, I quit.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I am actually leaving MMOBomb at the end of the month. So I've got, I guess, 2 more podcasts after this and about 20 or 30 or so more incredibly well-written and fancy and spectacular news articles to do.
Yeah. So
yeah.
You may have seen that we were recruiting on mmobomb.com for some new staff. We did offer Troy the full-time gig. He declined, but he will still continue to be an ad hoc contributor as always. So nothing changes with Troy, but I did, just for those of you wondering, I did offer Troy and Wilfredo, those guys, the opportunity to join staff instead of ad hoc contributors. They both can't do it schedule-wise, but I did not overlook them. So we are bringing on 2 new people. One has already accepted.
You can't replace me with just one person.
Right. One has already accepted. They'll be starting in April. They'll be training with Jason over the next couple of weeks. The other one I'm still waiting for a reply for to see if they're going to accept the position or not. But Jason Winter, what are you going to do? Are you're not going to like another site, are you?
I'm gonna sleep in my bed with my crappy knees. But no, I'm just gonna hang around. I'm just gonna take a little break for a while, and then I probably will get into doing more streaming, more. I'll still be on Twitter. I'll still be on Twitch, so you can still find me there doing all my stuff. And drop by and say hi. Thank you, Box, for saying wishing
Nice
me luck.
things to you.
Thank you,
Yeah.
C-Swag. Thank you,
Now, he
everyone
won't-
else who might be seeing this.
He won't be totally gone. He'll still be appearing here and there in the vein of like how Zach does, occasionally appears on a podcast type deal or gets a game he really, really likes and, hey, can I do the first look for this?
Don't call me Mike, I'll call you.
Yeah, absolutely. Just the same way Zach does. So he'll still contribute here and there, but won't be part of like our usual rotation or the articles and stuff on the website. Jason, you will be missed. I'm glad we have a few more weeks together. You and I have worked together for, God, what, 8 years now? 10 years?
Like 8 years on this, and then a little longer earlier on.
Yeah, if we count
Game Breaker.
Damn.
It was May of 2013 is when I actually started here when you weren't around. But
yeah, I had left and gone to Game Breaker at that point. We passed in the night our ships.
I think I replaced you actually over here.
Yeah, yeah. So he'll still be with us through the rest of the month and training some newbies. But that also means that you will see 2 new faces in the rotation on the Always Online podcast here and on First Look videos and news pieces, as well as Jason's mug occasionally when we can convince him to stop by and say hi. Right, yeah, let's get started with the news. This week was a pretty damn good week for you MMORPG fans out there, maybe kind of scoping the horizon on what might be out there soon. Not just on the beta front, which we'll talk about in a few minutes with a number of betas getting ready to kick off, but NCSoft came to the table yesterday and said, hey, we got some video for you. We got some video for you folks. The one I'm showing right now first is what is known now as Throne and Liberty. This is formerly Project TL, so, I guess that makes sense, right? Throne and Liberty. And then we also got, which I'll show in a little bit as we talk about this, another trailer for Project E. Now, I'm showing the Throne and Liberty one because this one seems to be more actual gameplay at various points, where the Project E one is straight rendering. It's a straight video rendering. We do know that the Throne and Liberty is an MMORPG. This was actually something else back in the day. This was the Lineage Eternal project. So it's kind of morphed into just a bit into something different. And where it intersects with Project E, and while we're talking about Project E, we don't know a whole lot about Project E yet. But we're assuming it's going to be MMORPG-ish or multiplayer-ish. We'll know when we know more. But the 2 games are actually connected via the same world. The Throne and Liberty trailer you're watching takes place on the world's western continent, where Project E takes place on the eastern continent. And you kind of get that feeling aesthetic-wise, too, purposely by design, where it's very almost like our world, where you have like kind of the western look of Throne and Liberty, which you're seeing now, and a very Eastern or Asian-inspired look in Project E taking place on the eastern continent. Now, we didn't really expect this week. It's not like we had pressers sitting there. We had seen it in advance. It was just like, oh, hey, it's up. Like,
I was browsing Reddit and someone said, hey, here's this trailer. And I was like, oh, really? Oh, wow, look at that.
Yeah.
That's how I found it.
Now, we have been following these projects for basically years now, Jason. This is our first kind of real look at them that wasn't 100% just rendered movie trailer. And even Jason Winter put in our chat, said, at 2:30 in this video, even I went, damn.
Yeah.
Damn. So what'd you think?
I think that I shouldn't let myself get too hyped over a trailer, but damn, it looks like a good trailer.
It really does. It really does.
Especially these siege battles where you get the giant thing, and the part I'll talk about is the carry. Yeah, here, if you're seeing it.
Yeah.
Like what? Who needs that? Like I play Conqueror's
People just
Blade. You have
jumping on there on him.
You'll
Yeah.
have like you push the siege engine, which is like the giant staircase with the thing that drops the plank, or whatever. That's basically the equivalent of that. Just got your guys on there. They're basically on a siege tower, but the siege tower is a dude and he's carrying a big rock, and that's like, whoa, oh. So,
They
yeah.
actually said in a full blog post, and all of these videos and the blog posts we're talking about, they are available on mmobomb.com. You can go and check them out there. They actually said that, yes, while this stemmed from a Lineage project, it was about 3 years ago when it actually began to materialize as its own new IP, and they felt like they were, almost recreating a new version of what Lineage games would look like and what you would do today in those types of games. Troy, they did say a few things about, all right, what makes this different? What makes this different than other MMOs on the market, than different as an original IP? And the team said that they went back to square one and thought hard about the value next-generation PC and console-based MMOs should present. We put extra efforts into designing a highly immersive world where players can enjoy new experiences and fun. All right, buzz, PR, typical stuff. But then they went on to say, for example, we tried multiple things to avoid monotonous field play. Jason brings that up all the time. Even in the same region, the geographical features change depending on the weather, while the flow of battle changes according to wind direction. Over time, players might encounter new mobs. The way and purpose of hunting keeps changing accordingly. We worked hard to ensure that the three factors of field, environment, and player all affect one another. We expect that such an interactive influence will lead to richer possibilities for players. And they gave some examples of things like you might be able to breach a castle in a certain quest line by taking some underground tunnels to get into the castle surreptitiously. But if weather is wet and it's rainy, those paths flood, and you may have to find a different way to accomplish the objective, Troy. So what do you think? Like, how much of this is typical buzzwords? How much of this could be some of the stuff? I kind of felt like this is a lot of stuff that EverQuest Next was saying they kind of wanted to do. Like, how much of it do you think is actually going to translate to what we get our hands on later this year, if you can believe that? Later this year.
Very few things that come out in press releases and stuff. They don't usually end up being as dynamic as they make them sound, do they?
Right.
A lot of times it's more of a programmed system, like so it's time to rain, so the tunnels are going to flood, and that's just going to last for 20 minutes later on. We'll have to see. I'm just glad I'm not the only one that this trailer grabbed a hold of and said, let's go for a ride.
Yeah.
Because this thing looks...
Mike, you watched it 6 times?
I did.
I did. I went back throughout the day yesterday and just kept watching it, like looking for, because I was really interested that they were actually showing gameplay, Jason.
Mhm.
And there are a few moments you can 100% tell are gameplay, but I went back and watched it a bunch of times to try and find, like, there were those small moments where I was like, is that gameplay? I'm not quite sure, because it was a blend of rendered and stuff. Chat kind of reacting like, yeah, this is the obvious question, right? It is NCSoft. NFTs, we know that's a branch they want to get into. Pay to win is generally something that in the past NCSoft hasn't been all that great about, even though pay to win is kind of a generic, meaningless term anymore these days.
Yep.
But there are monetization concerns, let's say, with NCSoft's history. Counterbalance that, though, Jason, and let me know what you think, because those concerns certainly valid, but it is nice to see NCSoft kind of shifting with what is very obviously at least a big expense, if nothing else, into the PC and console side, kind of saying we got to pull back from mobile a little bit for a company that has, over the last 4 to 5 years, particularly in its last financials, last quarter, really dependent on the mobile income.
Yeah. Mobile, if you look at their financial reports, it's like anywhere from like 2/3 to 3/4 of their revenue. And even in the last quarter too, the PC games even dropped a little bit more. So it led me to think. I was saying in some of those financial reports, I hope they keep making PC games. I hope they don't just shut down Blade and Soul and Guild Wars 2 and whatever. So they did express that they're going to have more of a commitment to this. They said the principal development management officer said last year we focused on the development of mobile MMORPGs, but this year we will be challenging various genres based on different models and will actively enter the global market. So they acknowledge that the mobile is doing well, but they still want to not give up on other platforms as well, which is really encouraging because not only we see this, we saw, like you mentioned, Project E and those other 3 games that they showed off about a month ago.
Yep.
So they
And
definitely are still committed to this sort of thing.
And not just like the dynamic changing of dungeons or quests and stuff, but the whole weather and world interactivity, Troy, does actually impact the individual character as well. Again, they gave examples of the strength of the wind affecting the archery shooting range, right? If you practice lightning type magic when it rains, it affects a wider range of enemies, unlike the way it affects only a single enemy if it's a sunny day out. And then they go into the like kind of terrain influence. So conversely, they also point out that you as the player can impact the environment back. So you could actually change the environment in your favor by, I don't know, causing a solar eclipse or causing it to rainstorm by meeting certain requirements. So I like that at least that seems to indicate one of the things in Final Fantasy XIV's first, Realm Reborn's first sightseeing log I hated was how weather and timing, it was dependent for you to complete that log. Now they've since done away with that, but I couldn't help but think of, so am I going to be sitting outside? If I really want to infiltrate this castle from underneath, do I have to like sit outside and wait until it stops frickin' raining to do the quest I want? But knowing now that at least the plan is for you to have some influence the other way on the environment, maybe it could be a little more dynamic than simply just waiting for it to stop raining.
If it's something cool where you never know when it's going to rain and you could like maybe get trapped in the tunnel, now that is cool.
I would be so pissed.
What I think though, I think that tunnel example is a PvP battle, like a siege battle. So what could happen is our group is trying to infiltrate in through that tunnel, and the defenders decide, okay, now it's going to start raining. So there you go.
I would be so pissed.
Yeah.
I'm halfway through this long ass tunnel, and all of a sudden I'm like, there's an ankle deep water. Okay, now it's knee deep, guys. We got to get out of here.
Run faster.
Stat. I would be so pissed. Oh my god, I'd be so angry if I drown under the castle. I don't know, man. Like, Jason, you're always like the don't get hyped up for games and things like that. And I think it is way too early, of course, to like be super hyped for any of this, although it is coming this year.
We'll find out soon enough.
Yeah, current projections are it's coming this year.
But then again, they promised Lineage Eternal back in 2014 or something too. So
I do think, though, looking at the trailer, there could be. It looks great.
Yeah,
like, graphically, it looks wonderful. I do like the aesthetic of it. I do like some of the darkness in some zones and stuff like that. I do like some of the things they're saying. I think you got to take it with a grain of salt because nobody we've never had our hands on it or anything. And MMOs, they've disappointed in the past occasionally.
Have they specifically said which game engine this is on yet?
I don't know if that was part of the blog or not. What engine is Liberty?
Previous ones, I don't know.
Project TL is using Unreal Engine 4, the last update according to the wiki, which does have the fact that it is now called Throne and Liberty on there, so it is pretty current. Unreal 4, and I believe it. I believe it.
Yeah, I was going to say this list looked like it was beyond Unreal 3. So
yeah.
There's Jason's favorite part.
It's always hard to tell when it's a trailer, though.
The thing that I wonder about, though, is seeing all this cool stuff.
I'm going to switch over, by the way, just to the Project E trailer so that people can see the other side of this. This is the part that we don't know a lot about. Is it going to also be an MMORPG? Is this going to be something slightly different, just happening in the same world? Because this trailer's fully rendered. We'll have more details soon, I'm sure. Sorry, Jason.
What I wonder about, though, is when they say about Throne and Liberty, is they say they paid a lot of attention to the story and because they want people to be involved in it, and it just makes. I'm just getting Lost Ark flashbacks of, let's do the story for 90% of the game before you get to the cool stuff, which is all over the trailer. And
And the
God,
story
I
by
hope
far is
not.
the worst part of the game in Lost Ark. Oh
Oh,
god.
please let us do the interesting stuff. We don't give one flying fuck about your story.
Well, they do say about what is like the major content in Throne and Liberty, and they say they have two major pieces of content. First is a well-structured, robust, and convincing worldview. And then good understanding of game characters is a prerequisite for players to enjoy the game. Only then can they be fully immersed in the game with strong affection. To that end, the worldview of the game, which is home of the game characters, has to be solid and robust. We paid a lot of attention to storytelling and utilize many tools and techniques that are common in console adventure games. Next is the challenge in games. So far, NC's games focused on competition between players, which of course can motivate and entertain users in a specific region and class. However, a significantly larger group of players find it more interesting to overcome well-designed challenges instead of reaching the peak through competition. This is why we deployed many challenges in Throne and Liberty. This is particularly true when a player has to fight a boss monster. Players can overcome the challenge only when working together, with other players grasping the characteristics and skills of each boss and fully utilizing their abilities. AKA, a lot of our stuff in the past has been focused on PvP. This is going to be primarily PvE.
Mm-hmm.
Right up my alley. Oh, we didn't even talk about one of the best parts, Troy. That you can transform into animals.
Give other players a ride, apparently, if you're a big enough animal.
Yeah.
Giddy up.
So they wanted to reduce teleportation, but because they want you to move around the world that they're creating, but they wanted you to be able to do that at a rapid speed without having to, New World your way across the fucking map.
Yeah, but you go 3% faster on roads.
Oh.
So they thought animals were the answer. So they've allowed players to transform into land, water, or flying animals. For successful exploration of some regions in the game, they have to utilize the animal's ability to move. So sounds like jump puzzles, stuff like that. In addition, players can carry other players once they're transformed into an animal. I mean, there's a lot to look forward to here. There's certainly a lot of question marks and a lot of, oh, God, it's NCSoft concerns that many will have, and rightfully so, based on his history. But, Troy, I know for somebody that was like, can I play the crew on my stream Wednesday? I don't want to play an MMO. Every MMO lately has just made me cry. Like, you've actually uninstalled SWOTOR. It was probably nice to see this trailer and go, well, maybe this could be good.
It's definitely got me interested in a game that wasn't even on my radar before. Like I said, watching the trailer, I've watched it two or three times on my own, and I had to control my hype a little bit. I was like, this looks amazing, but also so did Black Desert back in the day. And so did, New World when all the trailers were coming out. So everything
New World never looked
in the
amazing. You just
trailers.
convinced yourself it was. No.
There was a time when we saw that very first trailer at E3,
Yes,
Jason,
yes,
that
5
both you
years
and I
ago.
were like, that looks interesting. I wonder what
6
that
years
is.
ago.
That's when
That
it was
wasn't even gameplay trailer. That was just the guy with the.
Well, that's also when it was a survival game and not an MMO.
Yeah, I know. It was whatever the hell it was. Six iterations ago.
I don't know.
Hey, look,
It's
I thought the
something to
original
look forward
Lineage
to.
Eternal stuff looked good, so there you go. Whatever.
And it's not mobile, which is nice to see NCSoft doing some, and console. I mean, that's big too, right? NCSoft dumping some stuff on console too. So definitely some stuff to look forward to, I think. And we might be circling back to that to get your opinion in the question of the week. So, placeholder. What else do we got coming, gents? Well, we got some betas inbound. Betas! Oh, by the way, I want to show this. This was like their comparison of the two games as far as like the cultural design of the world, with Project E being on the left there and Project TL or Throne and Liberty being on the right. And then this is how the two games intersect. Happening
they talk
in the
about
same
having
world.
because they're in the same world, like global events will affect both of them. So, and there's some sort of overarching thing about something exploding or something and making shards go everywhere. What I don't remember.
Yeah, they're sealing
it's story crap I don't care about.
Yeah, sealing a god, the gems, these broke, go get them, that type of thing. Yeah, that type of thing. All right. As far as betas, we are creeping up on the Tower of Fantasy beta. That's supposed to launch later this year. Beta will be next month in April. They're giving out their keys primarily on social media. I know this is one that a lot of people have been looking at over the course of the last few years, maybe participated in some Eastern testing that they have done previously as well. Jason kind of looked at it and was like, this looks like Genshin meets Phantasy Star.
It does.
Don't call it an MMORPG, though. It's a shared open world RPG.
Whatever.
Yeah. There's clearly footage in here, though, that shows a bunch of players doing some stuff together. A bunch of players. It is pretty. It is pretty. Yeah. Now, I have not played this. It's going to be on PC and mobile. I haven't played this at all, so I am looking forward to getting my hands on it in beta, because it is one that I've been mildly watching here and there, but I just don't have it in me to try and get, like, Korean Social Security numbers and stuff like that to take part in betas overseas. I can't be bothered with that. But it does look interesting, except, you know, there has been some negative feedback about it too. They did get kind of busted using some assets from some other stuff at one point. I mean, these are all in the past, so maybe it's all been addressed. They did get busted copying some reviews from another pretty anime Eastern game that might have sent us some stuff that we opened earlier today. So it hasn't been all roses for Tower of Fantasy, but it'll be nice to get our hands on it and form opinions for ourselves. Troy, is this one you're like, you don't play Phantasy Star, you're not into Genshin? Does this trailer or anything you've seen on Tower of Fantasy do anything for you?
No, not at all. This just isn't. This isn't for me. Not marketed towards me. Not intended for me, and will not be me.
Jason, you're kind of in the same boat, but I think you. Yeah, go ahead.
I mean, I could maybe see looking at it at some point, but it's not like huge on my radar.
Looks okay. So if it has controller support, might try it for a minute. Oh, I would assume it has controller support because it's on mobile too. So. Yeah. It's got to be made to be able to, play with a UI'd controller or something there. So yeah, we'll see. I think the next two I'm a little more interested in, and I think Troy, you're definitely interested in Bloodhunt, right?
Yes, I've spent some time looking at that game for sure.
Closed
now
beta test.
The vampire portion of our.
Yeah, this is the vampire portion of today's podcast. Bloodhunt going back into closed PC testing later this month. It's only going to run through the weekend, and we'll still have the, maybe if they have to shut it down for different things, they have to shut it down. This is one that Jason and I really liked it the first time we got our hands on it. We liked where it was headed, I should say. There were clearly things missing at that time, but we liked where it was headed, even though we're not generally Battle Royale fans. So, Troy, I'd like you to chime in and tell us your thoughts on Bloodhunt, since we haven't really gotten a chance to chat with you about it.
Well, essentially, I say all the time, like, Battle Royale is a fun game mode, but there's so many out there at this point. You have to do something that's a little different to really
and people, including myself, were a little disappointed to see the Vampire the Masquerade IP used as a Battle Royale initially. I got to say that.
Yeah, that IP is a Battle Royale. You don't like the linkage at the beginning, especially if you're an old school Masquerade fan. But going in and watching the gameplay, they've got a lot of interesting things going on that help set it apart from a lot of the other Battle Royales out there. One of the things that stuck out to me is that there are NPCs just roaming around the world, and you can jump down and you can suck their blood, and you'll get different bonuses and effects from doing that that improve you just as much as finding the next gun. So you're going to want to be finding guns and finding NPCs and then hunting down the other creatures. You've also got this ping system where you can kind of see where NPCs are around you. You can help track down enemies if you want to. The way that the verticality is and the climbing up and down the buildings and being on the rooftops, and just from all the gameplay that I've seen other folks have, it looks like a lot of the fighting actually takes place on the rooftops. You kind of jump down and you look for loot, and you look for those NPCs for you to suck their blood, and then you go back to the rooftops and you kill a bunch of other people. It's different enough that it could stand out in a genre that is just overflowed with generic shooty battle royales.
Yeah, and chat's already saying it. Just Box saying the same thing we've said before. I'm just over battle royales at this point. Yeah. A lot of us are just over battle royales. I will say that, yeah, like the more parkour nature of this one and some of the play, like we already did our first look for this. Like we did it back in September when it came into early access and then was removed from early access to go back in for some additional work. They had to bring it back into the shop a la Crucible style, but not for the same reasons. Not for the same reasons. It was not everybody hates our game, we got to pull it back into closed beta. It was for different reasons. So, and we are going to see this one on consoles at some point as well. If I'm going to play a Battle Royale, Jason, this is probably one of the top 2 that I will play. How often I will play, I think, is a totally different story.
That's because you're an edgelord. Yeah. Vampire love an edgelord. But yeah,
it is weird, like, running around as a vampire with all the abilities that are in Vampire the Masquerade, and it's still a shooty shoot. Like, that does feel a little weird.
Have you ever actually played Vampire the Masquerade?
Yes.
They use guns.
Yeah, but it's not all-out freaking warfare with assault rifles,
yeah,
which
yeah.
is basically what this turns
Open
into.
it down, just shooting each other all over.
That's why they have that built in. You can't do it in front of a normal. Well, you can shoot in front of a normal, but you can't use like vampire powers in front of a normal person.
Yeah, I did like that type of stuff too.
You get detected and so forth.
It's nice to see it coming back into closed beta. That'll be cool. But one we have not gotten our hands on at all yet, and I can't wait to do so. And it'll end up sucking, I know. And that's going to make me very sad.
What's a vampire game you're supposed to suck?
He did it. Troy, you're fired. Is V Rising closed?
I'm fired.
No, you're quitting. He's fired.
Okay.
V Rising
podcast alone now.
Closed beta
next week for some people you've never seen before.
V Rising's closed beta starts next week. Gonna have 4 regions, both PvP and PvE servers, and then future tests planned for April and May, March 23rd. I do not have a key to this. I do not have a key to this yet. So go sign up. Maybe you'll get a key. This is kind of like that ARPG. We've talked about it a few times on the show. Building castles, blood being a huge resource, all of that good stuff. Stunlock Studios has been teasing the hell out of us with this one, and this is both one that even Jason and I are like, this could be good. This could be really good. Stunlock, did Battle Right, and a lot of people loved the combat of Battle Right, even though the game itself may not have, taken off. But they loved the combat techniques, styles, and abilities that characters had. There's probably going to be a little bit of flavor in here, but it is a obviously very different gameplay type, so I wouldn't imagine they're just porting Battle Right's combat over. Yeah. And we've seen some vampire PvP, vampires getting ganked, and like even as a non-PvP guy, I was like, that's pretty awesome. Sun, obviously being a factor here, being weaker during the day, taking damage from direct sunlight. I can't help, Jason, but still feel the Blood Omen vibe coming from this game hard, and in lieu of a Blood Omen title, because they're just not making one, I think this'll do. I
mean, it's no Nosgoth, but I guess it'll do.
Yeah, well, nothing is anymore. Man,
driving that stake into the heart.
Ooh. Troy, you like ARPGs. You in on this? You want in with Jason and I?
I've been hyped for this one since the first time we talked about this on the show. This looks amazing.
I can't wait. Send me a key.
Don't disappoint me.
Send me a key.
I've been checking my email like every day because I got yesterday I got the email that said we're going to be sending out beta keys, and I've been constantly checking my email. Like, come on, let me have one.
I'm trying to see if I got an Overwatch 2 beta key yet.
Unfortunately, if any of us do manage to get keys, these tests will be under NDA, so we won't be able to talk to you about them or show you anything, but
you will never know.
You will never know. Well, I'll let you know if I don't get a key. I'm not in it. I can talk about whatever I want. I can talk about how I'm not playing the game. So there's some betas to look forward to. There's some new MMOs to look forward to. So I figure there's no better way to cap off this episode than just some news of the stupid variety. Let's just finish it off with some stupid news. So I gave Chocobo GP an A-bomb last week for its absolutely horrendous mobile monetization on a $50 retail Nintendo Switch game in a cart game. A cart game. Yeah, and you might say, Kart Rider, they're going to have a cat. It's a free game, too. Put whatever the hell you want in a free game. I might not play it, but put whatever you want. You charged me 50 bones for this thing. They're making changes because they have to, because it was awful. But I don't think the changes are enough. So they're giving everybody 500 mithril, which is the cash shop currency. But hey, spend it fast, because anytime they give you the currency, it has an expiration date on it. And then they're making changes to the amount of experience needed to gain on the battle pass, which they needed to do. They're also adding mithril, the cash shop currency, to the battle pass. Stunning! Something every game with a battle pass has done since the beginning of real battle passes, where you have a chance to basically farm up the fee for your next battle pass if you don't want to pay. No, you couldn't do that. You couldn't do that here. You got Gil, the in-game currency in the battle pass. So they're making those changes too. However, one of the biggest things that people are pissed about, they're still not willing to budge on yet, guys. That is the locking of characters you absolutely want as a Final Fantasy fan, like Cloud, to the premium tier of the battle pass at level 60. So you've got to buy the premium battle, which isn't bad for the first season because it comes with the fee, the box fee for the game. They give you mithril to buy the first season of the battle pass. So you're not going to have to shell out additional money to premium tier yourself, at least for season 1. Subsequent seasons you would. But you still have to grind to 60, and until we see like how good this experience rate change is, it's painful. It's painful. In what is otherwise a competent, fun, Final Fantasy / Square Enix nostalgic-filled cart-based game. You might not like that there's few tracks. You might not like some of the characters. The story mode might be cheesy for you, but it's a cart-based game, and they're going to add that shit over time, too. It wasn't worth $50 out of the box for me. And the payment model, the gotcha screen you see right at the beginning to try and sell you the battle pass, it's got to be ripped from what they plan to have a mobile version for. It has to be. It is actually the mobile screens you see in things like Brave Exvius and Opera Omnia and stuff. I don't know. Roll your eyes. Roll your eyes.
It's only slightly better than the original Star Wars Battlefront 2 to get the characters you wanted, because at least
Yeah.
they're not coming out of loot boxes.
Yep.
You know how to get them, but yeah, it's that same kind of thing. We want to make you pay through the teeth or grind through your teeth or whatever for the characters you really want.
Yeah, that's the way it's set up right now, Old Glory. Whenever there were 200 levels in the battle pass, level 60 was Cloud, and when that battle pass is over, there's no indication that Cloud will be available anywhere else, that they will then go to Season 2 and put in a different marquee character. And Squall is in the game right now, but he's in the Gil shop, the in-game currency shop. And if you were playing the free version, Chocobo GP Lite, where all you can do is the GP mode, and that's it, if you were playing that, I question if you would have been able to get enough Gil out of the Battle Pass. And you can't buy the premium Battle Pass in that Lite version until you buy the game. So it's not even like they're willing to give you just the GP mode and let you buy a Battle Pass. No, they'll give you the free Battle Pass, but you got to go buy the $50 game to be able to buy the Battle Pass to then go. I don't know. Blade and Soul has a new update. They also added class changes. That's a good thing, Troy. I'm amazed that wasn't there already, but that's a good thing, right? Want to change your class?
Oh, except for the fact that it's the first time they've ever done that.
Yeah.
And
and it's 8,000 N coin. But there's probably like 7 conversions in there, Jason. So that probably is it what? $25? $20? Change your class.
It comes to about $100.
You mean yen? 100 yen.
No, it's South Korean won actually, but no, $100 US dollars, greenbacks. Dollar bills. Bones.
Absurd.
$100 to change your class.
They're also only available for a limited time.
And for me, that limited time is never.
So they're gonna FOMO you on $100 class. Wow.
Oh, they have 2 different bundles that you can buy. They're both $100. And you're limited on how many you can buy. You can only buy a total of 3. One bundle you can buy once. The other bundle you can buy twice. That's it. $100 each. So if you wanted all 3, $300. Limited time. But Troy, maybe this makes it better, right? You could also like re-roll your character too, like race and stuff, and the way it looks and all that stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
That's stuff that you can do for very, very cheap in most MMOs. Because those are the microtransactions that make money. I don't want to have a tail anymore. I'll pay $8 to pick a new race and not have a tail anymore, Jason.
Yeah, I think usually the going rate in most of the games I've ever played is like between $5 to $10 for that. I think WoW might be like 15, but that's WoW.
Yeah, the class change launch bundle gets you the class change voucher, 2 weapon exchange vouchers, 1 character alteration voucher, like we were just talking about changing your character's look, and then some in-game stuff, 10 fusion stones, 3 searing grandmaster's etching stones, 3 sacred vials, and 3 pet packs. The class change bundle, the cheaper one that you can buy 2, or the smaller one that you can buy 2, neither of them are cheaper, that you can buy 2 of, has 1 class change voucher, 2 weapon exchange vouchers, and 1 character alteration voucher. It doesn't have the additional in-game stuff. Why those are both the same cost, I have no idea. Probably because they're like, if you want to change 3 characters, we're going to get you $100 3 times.
Old Glory says, how can we milk game before shutting down? I'm like, come on, they're not that cynical. Oh, wait, Blade and Soul 2 is coming out like later this year, isn't it?
Yeah, but they're still transitioning Blade and Soul to Unreal Engine 4 and all that stuff. So, I mean, they're sinking money into this game, but this is
how they're getting the money.
Yeah, if you want to put stuff into a cash shop, that's fine. Like, I'll either buy it or not. But just class changes? And being able to re-roll the look of my character for 100 bones? You can suck my butt cheek. That's ridiculous. Oh, and it's a limited time. I've wanted to change my class for 6 years. I got 3 weeks to do it. Mom, can I get $100? For what? I don't want to be a warlock anymore. You don't want to be a what anymore? Go do your homework. Go do your homework.
Let's talk about Tom Clancy's X-Defiant.
Well, we can't.
Oh, you're right. It doesn't exist anymore. You're right.
It doesn't exist anymore. What's going on there, Jason?
It's just X-Defiant.
Oh.
Tom Clancy came up from the grave and said, I don't want my name associated with this crap anymore. And he went back down to the ground.
Quit
hand
putting me
rising
on your crap games.
Take my name off that punk-looking bullshit. And he slowly went back down into his coffin.
Zom Clancy. Yeah.
Rainbow 6 feet under.
Yeah, exactly.
Can't take credit. That was a Jason joke a number of episodes ago. Why are they changing the name? Why are they taking Tom Clancy off? Besides the fact that when we all saw it, we were like, why is Tom Clancy's name on this?
Because it was using factions from the various Tom Clancy games, but now they're going to introduce more stuff from other non-Clancy games, so they have to...
Non-Clancy?
I don't know. Everything Ubisoft does is Tom Clancy's Assassin's Creed. I don't know. Tom Clancy's The Crew. Whatever. It's all Tom Clancy. Tom Clancy's Riders Republic. Remember when Tom Clancy pulled a sick 180 on his motorbike?
Dude, that Tony Hawk Tom Clancy collab was amazing. Yeah, so whatever. I mean, it shouldn't have had Tom Clancy to begin with.
No, it shouldn't have.
As soon as you saw like that overall, like that over punk aesthetic and what they were going for, and it was like, why is Tom Clancy? I mean, to be fair, why is Tom Clancy's name on us going in and shooting aliens in the other game? I don't even remember what the name of it is. Extraction.
Yeah.
But at least that was Rainbow Six themed, I guess.
Yeah. I can't get it when it has his actual works on it. Rainbow Six or what's the other guy? The Sam whatever thing.
Sam Fisher. Yeah, Splinter Cell.
Yeah. Tom Clancy almost bought the Minnesota Vikings once.
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Oh, I thought there was a punchline there.
No, that was just it. That was all. That's mine. That's it.
Nothing stupid about this, except it makes me go, God, how old am I, guys? EverQuest, the original EverQuest, celebrating right now with a bunch of new content for its 23rd anniversary. EverQuest has been able to legally drink for 2 years.
You know, since it's one of those games I never got into, this isn't one of those ones where I'm like, oh man, this is so old, it's getting up there. I feel so old now. I'm like, EverQuest.
We got chat going, oh my God, I feel old. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
chat I don't.
Yeah,
I
could
mean, I do
legally
feel-
buy
my knee
smokes
definitely
2
makes me
years
feel
ago,
old.
too. You must live in a state like I do. Smoking products were originally 18, and like 2 or 3 years ago, they changed to 21 as well.
Oh, did they?
You can go die for your country, and you can vote, but don't you dare light up or have a drink. Not until you're 21, you little 18-year-old. Let's slide over and do the weekly bombs. I think, Troy, we'll turn it over to you first this week.
Dub-bomb to be able to build a computer rig for the first time in a couple of years from scratch, which was a lot of fun. And A-bomb to MMORPGs. Why are you all breaking my heart? You sad little puppies.
This week, Jason, he was getting ready to do his, it was Tuesday night. He does his stream here on MMOBomb on Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern, twitch.tv /MMOBomb. Check him out. And he was like, hey, does the Crew 2 count as multiplayer? And I was like, well, yeah, but like, why are you asking? Like, I thought he was going to be like, hey, I've been playing it. Do you want me to do a first look on it? Because there are games that we will eventually go back and fill in the catalog. And I was going to be like, yeah, sure, if you want to, go ahead. He goes, I'm so mad at MMOs right now. I just need to cleanse my palate with something different. Like, you uninstalled SWOTOR.
I did. I uninstalled SWOTOR. I can't. Like, the only thing there is left to do is the same crap that I've done for years now.
I was about to say, to be fair, he was done with the new content
so.
like 3 hours after its launch. So
Yeah, everybody was.
Yeah,
everybody was. What do you got, Jason?
I'm going to give a dub-bomb to the Lord of the Rings Online. Now, this actually makes me feel old. You know, this is going to turn 15 next month. And to celebrate that, they are giving away all sorts of free content, like the first 5 expansions, free to everyone forever. The High Elf race and the Ward, Moonkeeper, and Bjorning classes also free forever to everyone forever.
It's about, I said this in the tweet, it's about damn time you and I have been after them for like years to do this.
You've been after them more. I already have it all. I don't care.
Yeah.
I got mine.
Yeah. And if you're a VIP member, you get all of the expansions.
Yep. Actually, I feel like there might be something missing in the middle of that.
Is there like something in the middle? Because you get everybody gets the first 5, and the VIPs get the most recent 3. Yeah. Are there more than 8 Lotro expansions?
I don't know. I don't even keep track anymore.
That'd be pretty dick, though, right? Like if there were 2 in the middle. They were like, hey, VIPs, you got to go buy those 2.
By the way, Guild Wars 2 with your Living World stories. Pay attention.
Yeah. They're also promising a bigger announcement next month, too, which I think has to be related to that Lord of the Rings show Amazon's doing. So we'll see.
Yeah, and we do like a while ago they talked about console and they talked about graphic improvements, but then they kind of backpedaled on both of those. So I wouldn't expect it to be anything there either. I'm going to give an A-bomb to Square Enix and Chocobo GP. Again, what a mess. It freaking deserves it. But I do have to give a dub-bomb to the Cacao Now stream. They didn't have a ton of like new and flashy trailers or anything to show off, but this was their first like, their Sony State of Play type show. It was about a half hour long. This week we wrapped it all up on mmobomb.com, and they did a pretty decent job. Like right out of the gate, they said, we're not announcing anything new. We don't have any huge like big reveal trailers or anything, but we're going to give you updates on this, and this. And I was like, that's the way to kick off your show. Let me know if I should even be here or not. Absolutely. And they showed off some Elion content, a ton of Elion content, some arcade stuff. Generally, I don't care about the games themselves, but they did a nice job, and hopefully those streams will get better. The audio was a little wonky here and there. Closed captioning wasn't a default thing that they put on, so hopefully they'll wrap their minds around making those a bit better in the future. But they did a decent job. And yes, and Q is right. The transition wipes in between all of the segments were really, really well done. Like they did a nice job, and they were really funny. From the viewers, Terra Nova says, "DaBomb for being selected to take part in the V Rising closed beta. I'm looking forward to what it has to offer." All right, let me just click
Tell us
ban.
everything.
Let me just click ban real quick.
Mhm.
I'll let you back in when I get my invite.
Goodbye.
Old Glory says, "A-bomb to Swords of Legends Online." Didn't like it, huh? Tried it when it went free to play. For someone who wants to play the game casually, the UI is terrible. Menus over menus. There are a ton of menus in that game. Mechanics that don't make sense and how they're introduced to you and how everything, it just felt overwhelming. The voice jumping from English to Chinese. It looked okay visually, though. Went back to Lost Ark the same day. First off, your voice should never be in English on that game. Ever. Ever. Just go put it in Chinese with the subtitles. There are a lot of menus. I can't disagree with anything Old Glory says here. There are clunky aspects to it as far as me trying to learn my original character and stuff. Luckily, I was streaming it a few times, and I had some solo experienced players in chat saying, "Oh, take a look at this. Hit Alt to read that tool." I shouldn't need that, obviously, but yeah. Stojan, hey, what's up, Stojan? Says, "DaBomb to Jason, even though he didn't like Yu-Gi-Oh."
Yeah, well.
Old Glory says, "DaBomb to Throne and Liberty Castle Sieges made me remember good old Lineage 2 Castle Sieges. Can't wait for a new spin from NC Soft." And Tori the Chicken says, "A-bomb to Trackmania Nations Forever for deleting all my medals and making me play through all tracks again, which hurt my hands. Oh my, I would set my house on fire." Takal says, "DaBomb to YouTube streamer Iced Games for finally making it to Stormblood." T-Pain's video, speaking of those things, Jason. T-Pain's Crusade. We should give a DaBomb to T-Pain's Crusader Kings 3 advertisement.
Yeah, if you haven't
video.
seen his Crusader Kings 3 video, even if you don't like Crusader Kings 3, if you like T-Pain,
yeah.
if you don't like T-Pain, I don't really care.
It was so funny. It was so
was
well
a great
done.
Video.
Yeah, throw the link in chat if you want so that everybody can see that.
Yeah, I'll see if I can find it.
It was so good. From the viewers on YouTube or on mmobomb.com, Breakaway Vein says, "Exoprimal looks like Anthem mixed with Turok." That's exactly what we said last week, except I think, Troy, we said it looks like Anthem mixed with Dino Crisis.
Yeah, we said Dino Crisis.
Go ahead, Troy.
Yamikami, A-bomb. I was in the hospital and had a surgery. Despite all the pain this has naturally caused me. The A-bomb specifically goes to the food in the hospital because OMG, it was so bad that I was barely eating anything. If the surgery does not kill you, the food will.
Ooh, Yami, obviously we hope that you have a speedy recovery. And yeah, anytime you have surgery, the pain isn't nice. So to not be giving an A-bomb to the pain, but giving it to the food, Jason, says a little something.
Dang. Thulverix says, "DaBomb to Wilfredo for collecting guitars. We all know GAS is way better when you share it."
It's not me with guitars, but there's an awful lot of camera and lighting equipment in here and multiple mixers. Gear acquisition, totally a thing. C-Swag says, "Troy's reference to Jason's random crap in the background had me rolling." Yeah, it caught all of us off guard last week.
Yeah,
the way he was sitting, you couldn't see it. Like, if I would have seen the tub, I would have said, "Oh, like, yeah, you got the same tubs back there that Jason has." But the reveal was amazing.
Yeah, that was good. That was good.
It was very good. Go ahead, Troy.
Box Weekly Bomb giving a DaBomb to Dead by Daylight. They nailed the fear behind Sadako, the girl from the ring, and not only with her own mechanic, which is just protecting herself from TVs around the map, but also giving her a free jump scare kill, referencing the movie, and even in the main menu, she sometimes jump scares you. It's happened to me a few times, and I love it.
Yeah, that would be fun the first 2 times, I think. I love scary movies, and very little scares me, but a good time jump scare is going to get everybody, right? That would be fun the first 2 times it happened to me on the main menu, and then I would be like, "No, we're done. Uninstall."
You know, the scariest thing I ever saw on a main menu once?
What's that?
When you play Detroit Become Human, there's one of the androids is like there as you're sending. She occasionally talks to you as you're looking at the menu options or whatever. At one point, she says, "I'm sorry, your game data has been deleted." And she pauses for like 5 seconds. She's like, "Just kidding."
Oh, they pulled
That's the
the
scariest
old
thing I've ever seen on a main menu.
Sanity, Eternal Sanity's Requiem on you. That game screwed with you. That's a GameCube reference for you folks out there. RS Jabber says, DeBomb to Wilfredo and his guitars. Lots of people liking the guitars. Last week's question of the week was, what's your favorite MMORPG of all time? Could you go back and play it today, or do you still play it today? Yami Kami says, question of the week, despite what I said last episode, Yami kind of went off on World of Warcraft. My favorite MMORPG is World of Warcraft, but WoW Burning Crusade / Wrath of the Lich King. So kind of right where you put yours, Troy.
Yep.
Do I still play it? Right now, no. The problem is that one major reason I had so much fun with the game back in the day were the people of my guild at the time. You can recreate the game, but you can't recreate the experience of beating it the first time with your fellow friends. Some things are just forever lost to the sands of time. Could not be more true. Go ahead, Troy.
Raggerty, question of the week. I would have to say World of Warcraft, of course. I met 2 lifelong friends, one whom passed, unfortunately. The other I still play various games with to this day. Could I go back? Yeah. Do I want to? Hell no. WoW hasn't been good since Pandaria. I stopped playing during Legion. The last raid came out, and my raiding guild fell apart. Second time that happened to me, and I just decided to chill and play casual and not be a raider. When I saw what they had planned for Battle of Azeroth, I called it then and haven't looked back.
Jason.
Mortam says, favorite MMO of all time would be EverQuest 2. Played for years, but not anymore because Daybreak has ruined the game and my guild / friends quit years ago. Second place would be Anarchy Online because it was my first MMO. Don't play it anymore because it's just too old and janky.
Yeah, it's funny when you look at these and you're like, yeah, it's old and janky, but I totally know these systems. I'm experienced with them. I'm going to go back. And then you're like, wow, these are really freaking old and janky. I don't want to play this.
Yeah.
Those rose-colored glasses, man, they get you every time.
Right? Apostolos Anagnostu says, favorite MMO of all time has to be The Secret World. Oh, wow. Love The Secret World. Such an original game full of potential. I don't think we'll see anything like it in the MMO genre again. It had the best community by far, even the PvP community. I'm right there with you. Right there with you. It was such a breath of fresh air for me when that game came out.
My tip for the few times I go into Secret World, treat it like a single-player game.
Well, now you have to because it's Secret World Legends.
Very slow. Play very because it has like 6 players, sure.
Exactly, yeah. It's the community. The only reason they have any events is because there's community-run events.
Solve the puzzles yourself. Don't just look them up online. Take the time to figure them out. Anyway.
Honorable mention, a game that nobody played, that's why it died, multiple times actually, Face of Mankind. I could not get into Face of Mankind.
I don't even know what that is.
It was very hard to get into, but once you did, it offered the most unique role-playing, player-driven experience out of any other sandbox MMO out there. I still remember player meetings at the Senate and coup d'etat attempts, or how the devs updated the cities, adding broken lights and ruined bridges after major wars taking place between the player factions. I think I couldn't get into it, not because it was complex. Like, I get complex things, but I didn't have anybody playing it with, and that really relied on you. That game really relied on you having at least a group of friends, if not a guild. Go ahead, Troy.
Richard Raffensberger, favorite MMO was Twin Saga because it had the best community.
Finish it up, Jason.
I'm not going to finish. There's one after this. But anyway.
Oh, sorry. My bad.
Box's question of the week, probably the OG original RuneScape. It was my first real taste of playing an MMO on PC. And it was the only thing I could play back on then on my family Windows 98 PC. I had such a blast learning how to cheese mechanics and how to abuse how buggy the coding was. Sadly, the official version shut down a few years ago in 2018, and I was still actively playing it just for nostalgia's sake. OSRS and current RuneScape just don't hit the same way like the first one did.
What's the saying? Like, you always remember your first? I mean, I think it's usually used for something else, but
so many of these are like mine. They're about the people you played with.
Yeah,
as much, if not more, than the game. Now, granted, the game gave you the window to find these people and meet these people, but it's all about who you played with.
Tori the chicken in chat saying, I fantasize about going back to Perfect World International at least once a week, but that would suck. RS Jabber finishing it off says, World of Warcraft was the most impactful in my life. I do not necessarily like how the current game plays, but if things at Blizzard were different, I'd be playing on Classic Realms right now. Question of the week this week What did you think about NCSoft's 2 revealed updates? Is it too early to be pumped? Too scared that it's NCSoft and that it'd be screwed up, a monetization nightmare? What are your thoughts? What'd you like about the trailers? Are you looking forward to Throne and Liberty or Project E? And what NCSoft might have in store? Let us know in the comments below. While you're there, don't forget your weekly bomb. Dub bomb for something good, a bomb for something bad in the world of gaming, or hell, just in life in general. If you've got a question for anybody on the panel, put it down below, and I'll bring it to next week's show. Until then, Troy, where can everybody find you?
You're right here every Wednesday, twitch.tv/MMOBomb, streaming whatever I feel like.
Jason.
I'm on Twitter at Winter Informal, streaming at twitch.tv/Jason Winter, because that's the only place you're going to find me after about 2 more weeks. So please find me there.
Please find me there. Please find me there.
Don't let me be all alone. Although I kind of want to be alone, but I don't want to be alone there.
Isn't that the point? You're
Look,
gonna
now
go.
people are messaging me in Discord telling me they got V Rising invites. I hate you all.
Oh, now I gotta check my email while
You won't find me in V Rising though. That I can guarantee that. Don't say it. Don't tell. Okay, Mike says nothing.
Hate everybody.
I'm Mike Byrne. You can follow me right there at magicman1, but more importantly, follow at MMOBomb so we can tweet at you every time we go live with a podcast, streams, news articles, giveaways, first look videos, and more. Until next week, gang, stay safe. We'll see you on the servers. Later.